Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the House's Magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, via Zoom today is
Matthew Spooner Haas.
It's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than Forker.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Or Knifer.
Yeah. Matthew Forker Haas.
You could always be Sporker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Got Spork. Yeah.
Multi-uses, you know? You can be both a...
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, Spork is the greatest invention.
It goes good with, like, fruit salads, like, at school lunch, like, cafeterias.
Yeah.
They used to have, like, a thing of, like, fruit salad. You just take the spork and jam it into, like, the pineapple or a grape or whatever.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's the greatest invention in the 20th century, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Computers and all that other shit, whatever. The sport.
Yeah. Okay, spaceships and satellites and the internet and, like, real fast trains and airplanes and, you know, nanotechnology, vaccines. Well, everyone hates vaccines now, but, you know, anyway.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you know that I read online that speaking of vaccines, somebody was saying that you know, Jesus didn't need vaccines.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said.
Go.
So
Yep.
yeah. And then somebody pointed out that maybe he wouldn't have died from the rusty nails on the cross if he
Oh God! Wow.
I was like, wow, that was dark.
Wow. Oh boy, that was a little bit much.
A little dark. I was like, whoa.
A little direct. Plus, back then, I'm not sure if nails were even. I know I'm missing the point, but I know the
but
point.
still.
But yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Literally. Anyway, so today on the show, we are covering the season finale of season 6 of Legends of Tomorrow, the CWDC show. This aired on September 5th of 2021. It was directed by David A. Geddes, written by Kito Shimizu, I'm sorry, and James Egan. It was titled The Fungus Among Us. Great title.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, what'd you think of this episode, Matt? First off,
It was really good. It was, as far as finales go, I'd say it's probably up there with no, season 5's finale actually.
Yeah.
That was really, last season was really good with the whole fates, that whole thing with Clotho and all the other fates. That was pretty cool. I really liked it. It was really emotional. This whole season's been very interesting. It's been very dark at times, especially with the whole Constantine arc.
Yeah.
But it's just been very, like, one of the things I've noticed too about the last few seasons of Legends actually is that, like, no one really wears, like, their quote uniforms anymore. Like, they're just like people now.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch some of the early seasons, like, Sarah's always wearing, like, her white canary outfit and very, very superhero type of thing, and like they just kind of like dispensed with that like 3 seasons ago. Like, they just wear like regular clothes, like, Like,
so, I think the last time we even had anybody really wearing costumes was when when we had what's her name on it, Maisie Richardson's first character,
are you talking about Amaya?
Yeah, Amaya. There we go. I was trying to remember her name. Yeah. She was probably the first one. I mean, the last one to like wear a costume for a little bit. But,
yeah. But I liked it. It was, long story short. Yeah, it was a really good episode.
So, what happened in this episode, Matt?
Well, going after last episode, Bishop basically wants to take revenge on Earth because, they wouldn't let him save Earth after how many centuries, so now he's just gonna destroy it out of, just punishment, petty tyrant type of move. So, it turned out that the Fountain of Imperium was actually like its own alien life form and was protecting Earth from alien invasions, but then Bishop had tricked John into destroying it, or at least weakening it, so that all the aliens can now just invade Earth. And you had those I forgot the name of those that race of aliens that are really, really like aggressive and fast. They could just like conquer like a world within like minutes. Like just
was it Zargaron?
Yeah, Zargaroth. Yeah. So they start trying to colonize. Or
Zagaron, whatever that is. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it's Zagaroth.
Yeah.
They start colonizing Earth pretty much immediately, and Spooner, she's still kind of out cold from, essentially kind of being like in a state of limbo because her child self, went into the fountain originally, which is what transported her into a different time period. But then now that the fountain is dying, that means that current Spooner is dying. Then it becomes like one of those weird time loop things where it's like, well, was it always supposed to happen this way? Because like she was, so you never know, like with those kind of things. It's like it just becomes a time loop. So so does that mean this whole scenario already happened? Like they're just replaying it, and like the whole thing, like the battle and everything. So,
well, I'm gonna contact the person that invented the spork.
Okay, yeah.
See if they can invent a time machine, because I mean that's the next logical step. Right after you invent the spork, you invent a time machine, right?
It's the spork to time machine pipeline. Yes.
Okay.
So they're trying to keep Spooner alive, or just like letting her rest and stuff. And as far as we know, John is dead. But then Bayrard gets the idea, like, wait a minute, he thinks John is in like a mushroom that he found, and that John wants to talk to them. So they think he's just like being high like usual, And he's like, no, like I really think John's in here, that he wants to speak to us. So it just becomes this weird thing of like, all right, should we really, eat this or whatever, And then Sarah ends up doing it, even though she was the one that actually didn't really want to do it. She just took a little bite off the mushroom and then she meets John in like this kind of like spirit realm or whatever, and he's just like kind of, like apologizing, like a little bit for like what he did, and he knows the secret of how they can, how they can fix things. And then he whispers, I love this scene. He whispers something into her ear, and then she's like, looks all like dumbfounded, and then she comes back and he's like, John just told me a secret, like that's gonna fix everything. And they're like, what? And she's like, he said we're all connected. They're like, really? It's like, oh, it sounded way more profound in there. Like,
yeah, that's kind of like, whoa, man, we're all connected,
Yeah, like when you're high, it's such a deep thought, like, oh man. Then like later on when you're sober, you're like, really? That was okay.
So basically, we end up having like Bishop had stolen Kayla's ship, and Mick saved the last egg, which was good. What's happening next here, Matt?
Mick saves the egg. I forgot what he's doing. I know that Bishop is is he working with someone? I know that he's pretty much unleashed all the Zagrobots. So they're trying to ward them off, and then they get the idea before, because I think they killed off some of them, and then they had some time to spare. So then they had the idea, like, if this is like the last day on Earth, that Sarah and Ava are just gonna get married that day. So like they literally plan a wedding, and like get the chairs were involved somehow. I'm not sure where they got the chairs from, but
yeah, they had time to get the chairs. Yep.
Yeah, they had time to make chairs. Even, let's say that. Just good old fashioned woodworking. They made chairs. They got a cake, I think.
Unless Gideon produced them, but no, they.
Gideon. Well, no, because they took the ship though, didn't they?
No, they stole Kayla's ship, not.
they stole Kayla's ship. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gideon may have probably did that. They had an altar. Someone, I think it was Nate, officiated because he technically had internet. Whatever thing, which you could literally do that for like $30 or whatever. So there's really beautiful wedding scene. Really, that was actually really, that one lasted pretty long. It was like 5-10 minutes. Where they it was interesting because Ava and Sarah kind of switched places a little bit, because Ava's usually the one that's like very controlled and she plans things ahead, and she couldn't really figure out what to write in her vows. And Sarah's usually the one that kind of just shoots in the hip, and she's the one that just wrote down this whole thing on her vows. So they kind of just did the opposite of what they normally do. So I think it was it Gary or Nate just told her to speak from the heart. One of them said that, and I'm
pretty sure it was Gary. Yeah,
it was Gary. Okay, yeah. So Gary the alien. Which I'm still not thrilled about that. That whatever. I'm gonna get into that. I just like Gary being Gary. But okay.
Well, he's still Gary. He's just more.
He's still Gary. I know, but anyway. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, she kind of just launches into this, improvised vows essentially, which again is really, it really does show how Sarah and Ava are sort of growing into each other, which is important to have a relationship, because you don't want to be too similar, but you don't want to be too separate either. So the best time is you sort of pick up each other's attributes. If they're good attributes, at least. You don't want like a toxic relationship where you pick up each other's bad attributes. But
that's when it's fun. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway, so Ava, she's kind of learning how to go with the flow, which is like Sarah's speed, and Sarah's learning to actually plan something out, not just do whatever. So that was a very interesting take on their marriage, basically, because that's literally the beginning of their official marriage. So that was a really good scene. I liked that scene a lot. It was really heartfelt. They've been building that up for a long time, since season 3. So
yeah,
because they first started liking each other probably episode 8 of season 3, maybe. So
yeah.
We're looking at literally 3 whole seasons. And then right after they got married, right after they kiss each other, that's when the full-on invasion starts.
Well, they didn't say "I do" yet.
Oh, they didn't?
No, because they had to finish the wedding later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. They didn't even... Which, realistically, they could have said it because it takes like 2 seconds. But okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You just say it. Do. Okay.
So at one point, the Legends have kidnapped a young bishop.
Oh yeah,
from the year 2212, in Vancouver,
where they film everything.
Where they film the show, yeah,
right.
They have him create an antidote that awakens Spooner. That's how Spooner got to be awoken before the wedding and stuff. But because of that, the fountain isn't restored, and it's allowing the pods of the aliens to land on Earth, and that's when they decide to get married and everything. So young Bishop is at the wedding and everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that. Young Bishop, by the way, who does not have any fashion sense whatsoever.
No.
Old Bishop really, he learned over time how to dress cool and have the dreaded man bun.
Yeah.
Which pretty much at this point just means you're like a douchebag. Sorry. But it just seems like at this point it's like, okay.
Yeah.
No offense. If you got one and you're a good guy, that's okay. You're one of the good ones.
I mean, it's a debate. Which is worse, that or the mullet?
I'd say that because that's very classic. Well, mullet's usually like, working class, kind of like, kind of people. Man buns are usually like the, kombucha brewing, yoga, vegan. Like, I'm so much better than you, man. I live a naturalist lifestyle, man. They probably hate vaccines too. Anyway, sorry.
So,
well, there's a lot of that in the wellness community. They think that everything can be solved by drinking like herbal tea or kombucha or some shit. So,
and growing a man bun.
Yeah, that's key component.
Yes. So, do you want to take a break really quick, Matt?
Sure.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the rest of this episode in a second here, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back. So, the spork.
Yeah. Spork, man.
Yeah, it's patents for spork-like designs actually date back to 1874.
Whoa.
Yeah, I thought they were like a mid 20th century sort of invention. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
the word spork first appeared in a 1909 supplement of the Century Dictionary.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's a portmanteau of, spoon and fork, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like right around the time when they, invented, quote, milkshakes. And I'm going to say it, sarsaparilla. I said it right.
Yes.
I had to teach myself 100 times sarsaparilla until I was able to, do it.
So in reality, at this wedding that takes place in 1925, there could be sporks at it.
They could have been. If they had cake at that wedding, which I don't think they did, could have used forks to eat the cake, and then if they had another dish that required a spoon, or Spooner was there, they could have used Spooner as a spoon, but then that would just kind of make her dirty and stuff like that. Literally just that makes no sense. But
Yeah.
just take her body and just scoop up pieces of cake. I don't know what I'm saying, dude.
So back to the plot.
Back to the actual the show.
During the wedding, Bishop arrives on Kayla's ship, and he opens the pods, but the legends the legends realize they have this connection to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what happens is because the connection that Bayrod was talking about in the Mushroom John. It's the name of my new band, Mushroom John, and
Mushroom John.
they said that they were all connected. So what they realize is that they can share each other's powers, which I don't get, but
Right. So, have they always had this ability and just didn't know it, or only because of this particular event?
yeah. Or is it a
You know what I
permanent
mean?
thing? Can they do it next season?
Well, it kind of remind. It was a little bit. It seemed a little bit reductive because it kind of reminded me of season 3 with the whole totem thing that they had,
Yeah.
where they all had to be connected at the same time in order to, create reality, which is basically just Endgame with the whole Infinity Stones, but kind of like a lesser version of that because the graphics weren't as good and stuff like that. But anyway, it kind of reminded me of that, where they all had to sort of band together. But yeah, I don't know if they've always had this ability and they just didn't know how to use it or something.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I guess we'll see next season if they ever are able to use it again or not.
Yeah.
So, we've got the they realize that they have this connection, so they're able to use each other's powers and special abilities to kill the Zagorons. And then Bishop's there by himself, basically, and mixed eggs end up hatching, and they devour Bishop.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Young Bishop is eventually sent back to 2212. So, just letting you know that was tied up. With his memory erased.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically it means that he has to
do what he has done. Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise the timeline is all fucked. And
right, yeah.
So Mick ends up he bids farewell to Sarah because he's leaving with Kayla. So this might be the end of Mick for a while.
Yeah.
One of the original cast members. So now we're down to just Sarah as the original cast members go.
Sarah, yeah, she's it. That's the
Yeah.
Yep. That was sad because it was just Mick and Sarah for a while, and if you really think about it, I mean, it's just I mean, like, it'd be interesting though if like if they could start bringing in some of the old ones here and there, like for example, like Jefferson. Half a Firestorm.
I mean, I've read they're bringing in some new characters. I mean, I know that Matt's going to be playing a new character instead of Constantine.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he... But I don't know. It would be cool, in my opinion, if they brought in some characters from some other Arrowverse shows again like they did before, but they haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, like, what was it, Hawk Girl. Was it she? Yeah, she was in Arrow for a little bit. Wasn't she?
No, she was on Flash before it. But they set her up to be a character on this. But like, I mean, when we first started, we haven't had any like almost all the new recruits on this show have been characters created specifically for this show.
Right. Well, what are you referring to? What characters did they bring from the Arrowverse? I don't remember.
Oh, Mick.
Oh yeah, Mick. That's right.
Sarah.
Okay. Oh yeah, duh. They were. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mick, Sarah. Yeah, Mick and Leonard Snart were from the Flash.
Technically, Constantine.
That's right. Constantine was an Arrow.
Yeah, and I mean, but I mean, all the original people except for Hawkman and Hawkgirl were characters that had spent time on the other shows prior to joining, Oh,
that's right. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
It's been so long since I've watched the original show. Yeah, that's right. Because the original Firestorm, which was Martin Stein and
Robbie.
I forgot his name.
Robbie.
What's that?
Robbie.
That's right, Caitlin's husband. I forgot that she was married at one point.
yeah, her husband. So I mean, but then they did introduce Jefferson on The Flash. So, it was like all these characters were originally from other shows, but it would be cool if they did bring in, like, I don't know, like, because with some of these shows ending, like, I mean, if you brought in, like, Brainy from Supergirl or something,
Yeah, that would be really cool. Or even
or Dreamer or somebody. Yeah,
Dreamer. She would really fit in. Or even Alex could be kind of like a Sarah type character, like
like. But they have a history, so it's kind of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they had like a one night stand. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right about all that. That would be interesting if they could kind of, or even get Mia Queen. Because I know that they decided to be assholes and not do a show.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Called, which would have been a cool thing, and the fact that they actually literally set it up, so now that season makes no sense now.
Yeah, we will find out something of what happened with Mia. There's going to be a big crossover at the beginning, which is in November, I believe, of Flash.
Mm-hmm.
There's I can't remember how many episodes, but a bunch of episodes that are all crossover episodes with characters from previous and current Arrowverse shows.
Okay.
Like Black Lightning's going to be on there, Mia Queen's going to be on there, other people too. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be cool. But anyways, back to this episode here. Zari is mourning Constantine because, he's dead and all. when he when he suddenly arrives from hell, where he's damned once more. He gives Zari a key and bids her farewell, wanting to walk his path alone. So, and then after they, which we don't know what the key's about yet. We'll probably find out in season 7. But after they returned Bishop back to his own timeline and wiped his memory, there's a second Wave Rider appears, and it blasts and then destroys the wave, the Wave Rider of the Legends, stranding them forever. It seems like in 1925.
Yeah, I knew something was going to happen because, like, it's the first time we ever, gotten to do something without an incident or whatever.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, my whole thing with that is it's probably going to be something of like, we had to do it because we fucked up a timeline so bad again that we had to stop us from doing it or some shit.
Yeah.
Like basically pulling like a Barry Allen of like, oh crap, like what do we do this time?
Yeah, it makes me wonder what's going to happen here. It'll be interesting to see. And I mean, the next season is starting relatively early, like fast after this season ended. It's just a little over a month.
I know. That's weird.
Yeah, because it's I believe October 13th. The show's moving from Sundays to Wednesdays. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So because it's moving to Wednesdays, I believe, along with Batwoman. So, yeah. So yeah, well, I think Wednesdays are going to have 2 hours of DC shows with this and then Batwoman, and Tuesdays there's, I guess, going to have it's going to have The Flash, and probably for a little bit Stargirl.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're running out of shows on there. We don't have as many as we used to anymore. So because some of them are ending.
Yeah.
Because Black Lightning ended, which I still need to catch up on. I'm like 3 seasons behind on that show.
Yeah.
So that ended, and Supergirl's ending soon. Yeah, and then Superman and Lois isn't coming back until like mid-season, until sometime in early 2022. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. So did I miss anything on this episode that you wanted to bring up, Matt?
I don't know. I think it's just like more of like character development details, but not so much what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because I just remember now thinking about, because you mentioned Zari, that one of the main things in this episode was she was kind of more angry with John. That was like her way of grieving. Like she didn't even want to talk to the mushroom.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he's a selfish asshole, like.
I mean, there's a lot of times where I don't want to talk to the mushroom either, so.
Yeah, I know, it's hard, it's. It's a hard mushroom. I don't know what that means.
It's a hard life to follow where you have to talk to a mushroom.
Right. That's another band name right there, Hard Mushroom.
Yeah. I personally, I've never eaten a mushroom in my life.
That's true.
Yeah, I never have.
I know.
And that's because my grandma, when I was a little kid, told me a story about her sister dying from a poisonous mushroom. And even though I know that I'm not going to get like a poisonous mushroom from Walmart or something, I'm still never going to eat one. So, so.
You don't really need to. It's not like they provide that much.
Yeah.
Nutrition. I guess they're high in zinc, but you can get zinc in pretty much almost anything else, really. So
I think there's some zinc in my sink, so I just lick my sink.
Ugh, gross.
Just joking.
That's like the dirtiest place in like the house is the sink.
I know.
They would say that the kitchen sink actually might be worse than like your bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Probably be better off licking the toilet bowl than.
Oh,
jeez.
Throw some zinc in there, yeah. Oh boy.
Zinc in the sink, and
Yep, that's another band name right there.
Yep.
Zinc. We're gonna see a good show tonight. We got Zinc in the Sink, followed by Hard Mushroom, and then Mushroom John.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Mushroom Head's gonna show up. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna play a secret show.
Yeah. So, did you want to take another quick break, Matt, or do you want to or is there anything else you want to say, or should we just wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's much left in the episode.
No, there isn't much. I think we pretty much covered everything. This was it was an eventful episode, but not a majorly eventful one. It was a typical season finale. So yeah, we're just gonna take one break here today, folks. But anything else on your mind, Matt? Anything you've been watching, or anything you want to recommend to people?
I was thinking about it and I forgot. I was been watching something that was really good. Shoot, I don't even remember what it was. It was definitely was not Mortal Kombat. Started watching that recently. Did not like it very much. You know what it was? I don't know now, but I was watching Cinderella on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
That was pretty decent. Not as good as I thought it would be, but it was okay. Maybe I'll give it another watch. When I could turn up the TV a little bit louder, because I was watching it kind of late at night last night.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty cool. But man, I was watching something really cool, and I can't even remember. Maybe next episode I'll be able to remember it. But,
yeah. So I've said something about this before, but I really like Only Murders in the Building, which is a Hulu show that I think everybody should watch, starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. It's a really good show about these podcast-obsessed, or true crime podcast-obsessed people that live in this New York building who, they all realize they don't know each other, but then they realize that there's a murder happening in the building. They all realize they're fans of the same podcasts, and decide to start their own podcast and try to solve this murder in their building. It's hilarious, so highly recommend it.
so check it out.
Yeah, I think anybody would enjoy it. It's nice short half-hour episodes. So, but it's it's really it's funny, but it's twisty and turny, and it's pretty cool. Still have no idea. I still have no idea who killed anybody. So it's every week I think I know who it is, and then they basically burst that bubble the next week. So I'm like, yeah, yep. I think they're doing that on purpose. There's so many red herrings in the show that it's ridiculous. So that's Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. I don't know. Watched that and finally got around to watching Shazam. Finishing that from
that's a good one.
A couple years ago. That was fun. Yeah, I watched that the other night, last weekend. Yeah. Had only seen part of it before and then fell asleep, and it was nothing to do with the movie, just me being tired. And so I finally finished it a year later, and it was pretty good. Highly recommended. If you like the humor of Legends and stuff, I think you'll like that.
Yeah, really interesting. And they're making a sequel to that too. So
yeah, that's coming out sometime soon. And if you and another thing to recommend, if you like Zachary Levi, who stars in that, highly recommend Chuck. Check out the TV show Chuck that he starred in. One of the best underrated comedy dramas that's ever been on TV. Yeah, and check out our interview with whoa, I just blanked on the dude's name. With the guy who played Big Mike on there. I feel bad, dude. Mark. His name's Mark. I know that much. But yeah, check that out, interview out on a previous episode that we did. Anything else, Matt, before we go now?
No, just like you say, be kind.
Rewind. Wear a mask. Check out our Facebook group. Check out our TeePublic. Check out all2real2.com for any of the links to any of our good stuff. But, wear a condom. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.